Hello and welcome. You are again second episode Talking Sports with Rusty Clark. Alongside me is my father, Graham Clark. We're going to start off the show tonight talking about Will Muschamp as the Gators' new head coach.
Well, you're the Gator man. You're the Gator man. What do you think?
I'm very happy with the Muschamp pick. I think that he's a very good fit. You know, defensive coordinator, has done very well at Texas, coming off a rough year, was a head coach in waiting at Texas. Thought they would have gone with somebody with a little bit more experience as a head coach, but I think
turned him down.
I think he's a good fit, though.
The guy that knows the SEC, they say he is a recruiting wonder. High intensity. Read one report today that said it kind of got miffed that the deal was maybe that Mac Brown would get out this year, and that when he got out that, you know, of course Muschamp would take over. And then after going 5-7 this year, that Mac Brown decided, hey, I'm not going out on a 5-7 season. And so Muschamp started looking, shopping around a little bit.
And Muschamp is actually a Gainesville boy. Grew up first 10 years of his life spent in Gainesville. So, you know, said that this was a dream job for him. Really looking forward to it.
Well, I mean, in my opinion, it's one of the two best jobs in the country. I mean, you got the recruiting base, you got great talent in the state of Florida. I think Texas is the other one. I mean, I think those, look at how many people on those two rosters come from out of state. It's a pretty rare occasion. You know, they don't have to. They recruit Florida. Texas recruits Texas. They have great boosters, backers. They don't want for anything. Great, you know, the big thing in college sports right now is facilities. Okay, let's see who can get the best facilities to attract people. And they have both have great graduate programs. Mm-hmm. I was kind of surprised that they did not go with an established big-name coach. How about you?
Petrino, I thought, would definitely have been a candidate. I thought that they would have maybe tried to go a little bit out of system, maybe gone Charlie Strong, someone who has, you know, just gotten into the coaching realm, but still a head coach at Louisville and is familiar with Florida. And same with Dan Mullen. But I like it. I like him. He's going to be a good coach there.
Dan Mullen, 2 years at Mississippi State. You know, Charlie Strong, first year at Louisville. The only thing about both of them is I'm sure they both want to establish that program. Mm-hmm. You know, even though they say that at Miami now that Tommy Tuberville's trying to get in on that, and he's just been at Texas Tech 1 year. But he hasn't locked up anybody in a shed, and he's kept the lights on. You know, they couldn't put a Motel 6 out there because they didn't leave the lights on for him. So, you know, it's Muschamp. I'm like you. I think it's a good pick. We'll just have to see how that goes.
Cam Newton winning the Heisman in dramatic fashion. 93% of the ballots, he was first. On 93% of the ballots that his name was on, he was the first place vote in that. Spectacular season thus far. Looking forward to seeing him play in the national championship against Oregon. We'll talk about that a little bit later in the show, but I know you have some feelings about the Heisman.
The award has no validity. You know, they didn't give it to Peyton Manning. You know, I mean, not that I hold any grudges.
14 years.
It was only 14 years ago. I've not watched one of the programs since. I think Cam Newton's the best football player in the country. You know, he's probably ought to get some kind of an award for it. I guess they could give him that one.
Against Kellen Moore and Andrew Luck and LaMichael James, I don't think any of those three had really a chance against him.
You know what I think says something about the levels of talent is, you know, last year's Heisman Trophy winner, not on it this year. He's not even in the group, and that's rare. You would think he would probably be in the group, and he didn't have a bad year. He was injured some, mm-hmm. And I don't know. Maybe they was afraid to turn two boys from Alabama loose in New York City. It's probably a good thing.
Looking at a little college basketball, UT beats Pittsburgh. Hobson with 27. Big win. Pittsburgh started out. They were ranked number 3. Tennessee at 13. I think this adds some credibility to the Tennessee program right now. You know, that's a big win for them. That's a credible opponent. That's top 5 team.
Look at some of the schedules that Coach Pearl has scheduled. I mean, you look at some of the wins that really are like program makers. They beat Texas. They beat Kansas last year.
Kentucky, when Kentucky was at 1.
Kentucky when they were at 1. And this win over Pitt was huge. If Scotty Hobson can score 27 points and play like that every week, they got a chance to be really good. Now they've got that 7-game stretch that Coach Pearl has to go down.
8.
Is it 8?
8-game SEC suspension.
8-game SEC suspension that he can't be with them. And, you know, I can remember, and all this is different, and high school kids' emotions are a little bit different, but I can remember when Coach Manhus had a heart attack and couldn't be with our basketball team for a number of weeks. And Coach Eckel, tremendously knowledgeable, great coach, great person, knew the right things, but it was different. The general wasn't there, you know? And without Bruce Pearl there, I hope they continue to play well and until they can get him back. But he's obviously, he's doing a tremendous job. He's done a tremendous job with that basketball program. He's helped his wife open up a salon. Excuse me, that was his ex-wife, wasn't it? What do they call that?
I have no idea.
She supposedly took the money from that and called it Alimony Salon or something like that.
Something along those lines.
Good,
very
good
classy.
thing.
Very classy.
Absolutely, yeah. But that's a great win for them. And, you know, the SEC, Kentucky does not appear to be, you know, they had one guy that has been deemed ineligible already, right? And so they don't appear like they're going to be as strong as they have been. This could be a great year for Tennessee to make some things happen in the SEC.
Very talented team this year.
And you know, I saw Coach Pearl said in the paper today, it was in the Knoxville paper, I believe, well, we could still be 4th in the SEC East, you know, and could be. But good year to make a good push, I think.
Looking on to some high school basketball, DB basketball, the boys have wins over Central and Daniel Boone. The Central win was a 64-54 win. The Daniel Boone win, a 76-74 win.
I think we got that wrong. We beat them by more than 2 points.
I believe you're right.
Yeah, the Boone game, we beat them by more than 2 points. At one time, it was like a 16, 18-point game. Now, they cut it to 8 late in the game. Justin Long, our old buddy Jay Long, defensive end extraordinaire.
Second team all-conference.
Did a fabulous job, probably at about 6 foot, on Kevin Cannell. They said Justin really played well. He and Dartry and Alshaw all had 16 points. But, you know, we really thought that would be a tight ball game. Boone has about everybody back.
Cannell, Reppert,
Hayden Chanley.
Yeah, Chanley. They've got quite a few. I mean,
yeah.
I believe majority of their starters, they have a very athletic class this year, football and basketball in the same.
So that was a huge win for us to go out there on the road to Daniel Boone and pick up a big win in the heart of Gray. And then our girls picked up 2 more wins.
Both beat Central 55-42 and beat Boone 58-34. You know, Briasha Russell, Mackenzie Lilly, and Julie Osborne all had 10 in the Boone game, and Julie Osborne 18 in the Central game. Julie signed already to go to Campbell College in Kentucky, if I am correct.
Is it Campbell in Kentucky or Campbell in North Carolina?
I believe it's in Kentucky.
Okay. Well, I know there's a Campbellsville in Kentucky. Mackenzie Lilly signed with Milligan.
Just recently.
So they're both playing well. Julie has 18 against Central. Our girls are undefeated. Our guys have 1 loss, right? Cott County. Early season. I think Derek and Justin probably went to that one.
I believe so.
I don't know if they played.
If they got a
we
whole
were
lot of
just
playing time.
finishing up football season. So not only is it cold outside, but football season is getting close to being over.
That's when you know it starts getting harder in the Clark household.
I start twitching a little bit.
It gets the twitch again.
Yeah.
Julie, two dominant post players, Julie and Hillary, both have stepped up in different games, different weeks, and put up big numbers, as well as we've had good guard play. Mackenzie plays on the wing. Briasha is a point and wing. So really,
Don't forget Bones.
Oh, can't forget Bones. Can't forget Haley Clark either.
And Kaylee McCaslin and Haley Clark both step in there and do a great job. Haley launches that three, man. It's pretty much automatic. I'm not going to play her in horse.
You look on to the DB swim team, both the girls and the boys, beat Morristown. Phil Haybarger and Spencer Penny both having big meets.
Yeah, Haybarger is moved here from Morristown. Mm-hmm. And the Morristown team, kind of a unique situation. The Morristown East and West swim together as one team. East did not have a lot, and Philip was telling me about this the other day. And so they swim together as one team, and so when you beat them, you're beating actually both schools together. So that's a good win for our swim team. I'd hate to come outside after swim practice right now.
Oh, God. A little Speedo.
Oh, yeah.
You'd be a sight to see.
I don't think I'm going to get in the Speedo anyway. I think I passed that phase of my life.
Looking on Big 8 All-Conference players, Big 8 All-Conference banquet was today, Sunday. The Player of the Year, Sean Seabolt. Offensive Player of the Year, Heath Hayden. And Defensive Player of the Year, Garvin, young J.C. Garvin.
J.C. Garvin, yep. I told Coach Haney, shoot, he had all those Players of the Year, eh? They might all think about letting him go. I'm kidding, Sam. Uncle Buck, I wouldn't do that to you. I tell you, they did a great job this year, bouncing back from a tough start against a tough non-conference schedule.
A West team that goes deep into the playoffs.
Yep. That got beat by Columbia, who won it all. Mm-hmm. And West got beat by them 7-0. Heath Hayden, a guy that made their offense go start to finish. Big yards rushing. A lot of yards passing.
Bigger yards passing.
Yeah.
I think they said 16 touchdowns through the air, quite a few on the ground as well.
A bunch.
Yeah.
A bunch.
Garvin sets the record for tackles in a season at 141, I believe, at South with 132 through 10 games. Just an absolutely spectacular player as a junior.
Yeah, you really didn't need to remind me of that right now. He is a junior, and he's, of course, got a brother that played at VMI. That was a linebacker at Sullivan South. Very talented group of young men. And Garvin had a great season. You would see him in about every pileup, when you think, well, okay, maybe we can get wide on him. He runs very well, too. And then the Player of the Year, Sean Seabolt, of course, one of ours. And Sean, quarterback, I think became the first guy that I know of in the history of Dobbins Bennett, the first quarterback to run for over 1,000 and pass for over 1,000 in the same year. Interception or two, about 40 tackles at free safety. Great leader. The pitch was a trick play for him. I told Coach Wagner he must have worked with him. Him and Coach Wagner both pitched it about the same number of times.
I think that was 3.
And but guys that are great runners don't want to pitch it. They want to make something happen.
And anytime, Sean got the ball, you knew something special was about to happen. Big play whenever you needed it came from him. Spectacular to get all conference on both defense and offense and to be the Player of the Year. Fantastic for him.
I tell you what was really, I know one game we threw for 190 yards, 4 for 5. That's pretty special night.
That's pretty good average right there.
Yeah, we'll take that average. 80% throwing game and, averaging, let's see, let me see, what are my gazintas here? Let's see, we completed 4 gazenta, 190.
Gazinta, I got you.
You hadn't seen enough Beverly Hillbillies. 4 goes into 190 and alt plus alt's out. So you're averaging right about almost 50 yards a throw. Of course, that 87-yard to Derek Steele had a lot to do with
that helps
too.
A lot.
Yeah. But anyway, it was a very, very nice day. We had the banquet at Dobbins Bennett Cafeteria, catered by the good folks at the Golden Corral. Probably had about 200 people there on a snowy day, and it's a Baptist function. I had 3 kinds of chicken. And
fried, deep fried, grilled.
And with all those football players eating, there's probably not a chicken left here in about 4 counties. Have to get all the way back down to Cott County before you can find a live chicken. But it was a great day, and it was our first time we've done that in this conference. Of course, it's just the 2nd year of existence in this conference, so it was the Big 8 many years ago before reclassification. But great day to honor a good group of young men, and you know, as I told them all before they left, make sure you thank your parents because they've made a lot of sacrifices for you. So don't forget to do that.
The Appalachian State game, Villanova game, ended up not quite how we wanted it, with App State on the short end of a 24-42 ball game. But Daniel Kilgore ends his career with 2 national championships. You know, absolutely spectacular there. Started at tackle, I believe, this year. Was a center for us. Started sophomore through senior year. Was on a very good team with Duran Ferguson, Lamont Williams, and Stephen Moten, that I believe all got to a semifinal at DB. So and Brandon Thompson as well. You know, he's going to have another year left, I believe. But spectacular seasons for both those players.
Brandon was on every specialty team, and is a senior academically, but will come back and play again next year. Daniel, last college game. That's kind of what made it hard. Last college game, probably one of the few games that is 3rd round of the playoffs at Appalachian State that there was only snow on the banks. There was none on the field. It was actually a nice day. Mm-hmm. You know, you can go through about 4 seasons in Boone in the same day. We've actually done that up there. And Daniel had a great career up there, scoring a touchdown in the national championship game his sophomore year.
Recovered a fumble
in the end zone. Doesn't matter how you do it, it's a touchdown. He can tell his kids years from now, you know, I fought for 50 yards to get in that end zone. And all it'll say in the box score is Kilgore touchdown. You know, so, and you know, we all get better as we get older. You know, I'm about a 4.4 man right now in the 40-yard dash.
With a repaired knee.
Yeah, with repairs, yes. So, great career for those guys. Hate to see them end like that. Villanova, you know, Villanova was 8-4, and the games they had lost, the really good player who, let's see, Caesar. There you go. Thank you. I never could figure it out.
Had a receiving touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a rushing touchdown.
And he was out 4 of those 6 games. Mm-hmm. But I was really hoping, you know, if App could have won, I was hoping we would have a Southern Conference national championship in Frisco, Texas. You know, because that's where the thing's going to be played. So we've got Georgia Southern left in Coach Munkin's first year down there. And he was the guy, he was coaching at Georgia Tech, but he was the guy that recruited Jesse McMillan whenever Jesse went down to Georgia Southern and got himself a couple of national championship rings. So, 1AA, we still got Georgia Southern in it, but Daniel Kilgore's career came to a close, and it was a great one.
Bowl games, still on college football. Oregon, Auburn, of course, national championship. Going to be a spectacular game. Auburn, of course, you know, high-powered offense, SEC defense, you know, Pac-10 offensive style with Oregon putting up about 60 a game. And their defense is no slouch either.
No, it'll be interesting, though. It'll be interesting to see how Oregon's style of play matches up with Auburn's. Yeah, let's see if Auburn's going to have a few guys take a dive or so to catch their breath, like they claimed that somebody did there late in the year. California, you can't trust them.
Bunch of hippies.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you know, they're probably burning flags today. But Oregon, I don't think will be as physical as Auburn. I don't think they'll be physical enough to stand up to what Auburn has to offer. I did talk to one coach who coached against TCU and coached against Arkansas this year, and that was Tennessee Tech. And he did say that he thought TCU was probably 2 touchdowns better than Arkansas, which is pretty special. You know, at one time, you talk about Tennessee Tech, at one time, Dennis Francione was the offensive coordinator at Tech. Gary Patterson, who's now the head coach at TCU,
Yes.
was a defensive coach. Gary Darnell was the head coach, who went on to Western Michigan, I think it was, or Central Michigan, and won a lot of ball games. There was another coach on that staff that was, and they went 0-11. It ain't about the X's and O's, it's all about the Jimmys and Joes. So anyway, that Oregon-Auburn game should be a nice matchup. Of course, you and I probably both. Who's Florida playing a bowl game? Is it Penn State?
Yeah. Penn State in the
Okay.
Outback Bowl, I believe.
Penn State have an 84-year-old man on one sideline that's healthier than a 42-year-old on the other. Coach Meyer resigning this week, and he's got to. I'm sure he wants to spend time with his family. He said he had never got to see one of his girls play a high school volleyball game.
One playing at Georgia Tech, one
Yeah.
a senior this year.
And you got to take time for those things. You got to take time for those things.
Doesn't mean I'm not still sensitive about it.
I know. Yeah, well, you're not sensitive. That's a heck of a thing to say about a man. I was not there the day that you wrecked the motor scooter while going around the track in
let's
full
watch it.
football
Okay.
gear. So, but I made it most of the rest of the time. But I think Penn State, Florida, a lot of emotion there for both teams. Really excited about the Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl. Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl.
I'm surprised you remembered all that.
I wrote it down. Think about the T-shirt for that.
Continued on
For the
back.
Franklin American, yeah. Yeah, they can't have anything smaller than extra large. They can't get all the words on it. Franklin American Mortgage Music City Bowl with Tennessee and North Carolina.
North Carolina, for as many troubles as they had starting out the year with suspensions of player and ineligibility because of agents and things like that, they turned in a pretty decent season.
They finished up 7-5, didn't they?
Yeah.
7-5, had a couple of big wins. They
Played some pretty good teams in the ACC this year.
at one time had 14 players out, I think. Fired the associate head coach after about 1 or 2 games. That's ironic because John Blake and Butch Davis worked together with the Dallas Cowboys. It's just ironic that they would have those issues this late in their career. Tennessee goes to show, how you finish means a lot. You got
Put Bray in the ball game.
yeah, you got some teams at 6-6 and they're all disturbed at their place, and us Tennessee fans are go big orange, right now because they won their last 4 to finish up 6-6, and you should be excited about it. Georgia Tech, on the other hand, lost 3 of their last 4, and they're all up in arms
Tore all
right
to
now
pieces.
and disgruntled. I think that Music City Bowl is already sold out. Music City Bowl is already sold out, and that's not a game that has traditionally been that big of a sale. So I'm sure they'll start off down at BB King's Blues and Barbecue and see Tootsie's Orchid Lounge and all those Ernest Tubb record shop. Oh, there'll be people coming back to Knoxville with country music CDs that they had never seen before from Ernest Tubb's record shop. It'll be a glorious event. Tennessee's deserving of a bowl game. They really
To
are.
finish the way they did with a young quarterback coming in and making a lot of big plays in the Kentucky game, throwing for upwards of 200, I think, in all 4 of those games.
Yeah, now he'll sling that thing.
Yeah, big quarterback, 6'6", 210, I believe. He's a little scrawny fella, but he can get the ball down the field.
Yeah, he looks like he could use a few donuts.
On that Kevin Cannell Burger King diet is where he needs to be.
I didn't say that, BK. I didn't say that. Anyway, yeah, I think Tyler Bray has definitely had a big A lot to do with Tennessee's comeback, and I thought that was a great move by Coach Dooley to take that chance. Coach Dooley, not for the older folks out there that watch this show, his dad was one of the most conservative coaches. Georgia, Vince Dooley was as conservative as it come. They had Herschel toward the schoolhouse and Herschel toward the road, and that was their offense. The big fake punt against Kentucky that I really thought changed all the momentum, I think he had a halfback pass there the week before. Mm-hmm. He rolled the dice now. I like the fact that he's willing to be a momentum changer right there.
Got a little trust in his players.
Yes, absolutely.
And with a program a little bit depleted, you need to have a trust in your players. I thought that was fantastic.
They were down to about 3 or 4 defensive ends. Linebackers were in short supply. He found ways to make things happen. And then the next one that you and I are interested in is Georgia Tech and Air Force. A game that might have a total of 10 passes in it. They may have to do the advertisements with a plane flying by with the banners like you see at the beach, because you might not be able to stop the game.
May not get a commercial.
Run 10 straight dive option plays. We need a commercial break. I'm sorry, we're in the middle of a drive. Fly that plane over, boys. Fly that plane over for Advocare. That's the Advocare.
Get the blimp going.
Yeah, it's the Advocare. Does Advocare have a blimp?
I'm not sure. They should if they don't.
They really should. Get Coach Barrett to fly that thing over.
He'll blow it up himself.
Advocare International Independence Bowl. They've all got their advertisers now. But that game, because both teams see that offense all spring, all through the preseason, it may be harder for those offenses to attack, like they have. They may throw a surprise or two out there that might end up being a big play,
and I don't know,
a pass.
Is Nesbitt going to be able to come back and play in that one?
Still don't know.
That was part of the big loss for Georgia Tech. The reason that they struggled that last little bit, they have to bring in Tevin Washington, who I believe is a redshirt freshman, young player. And, losing Nesbitt, who was, ran their offense, spectacular player. And, really kept them in a lot of games. That hurt them a lot late in the season, losing, that big of a starter and that big of a leader in their offense.
Yeah, and it hurt them all season long. I tell you, the guy that left that hurt him all season long was Denarius Thomas.
Denarius Thomas.
Because, you could sling it down the field and he could make a play on it. What a big play guy. And when he went to the draft, they really didn't come with that big play guy at receiver like they had the year before. But exciting for bowl season to get started. Looking forward to that. December 18th, I think, the first game, and they run them all the way through January 10th this year. So a lot of other big things going on. Now, this weekend,
Indian Classic.
Well, the Indian Classic, we've got in wrestling, and we had very few of our guys make the finals. We got some guys hurt and banged up.
Tackle All-Star game.
Tackle All-Star game. Chris Sensabaugh played in, 26-7 win.
He played on a lot of special teams, helped their team out a lot.
And they rotated all their backs about every other play. And then we got the Tennessee-Virginia, East Tennessee, Southwest Virginia All-Star game. Sean Seabolt, Brenton Leeper, Rusty Clark, taking a break from the broadcasting booth. Maurice Cannon. I know that Hayden and Solder playing from South.
Yes. Quite a few other local players.
Tickets are available. I have these tickets. We'll accompany them maybe with, a small thing of homemade jam or jelly. But I have these for sale. There's a $6 price. The game will be played next Saturday at 1 o'clock at the Science Hill new stadium. And
we have enough salsa at the house to get rid of, too.
Trigger salsa.
Trigger salsa
and a Tennessee-Virginia ticket. That'll warm your heart and get you ready to go. So those are available, folks. Just feel free to call BR549.
A selfless plug.
Yeah. So we're about out of time.
Thank you all for tuning in. This has been week 2, episode 2 of Talkin Sports with Rusty Clark. Thank you again for joining me.
My pleasure.
Hope y'all come back next week.